Hey guys, welcome back to Tiny House Customs. I'm Dan. So if you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, you know that I'm about to move into my tiny house. And if you've been watching my videos, you can clearly see that it's in no state ready to be moved into. But by moving in now, I will be able to save a lot of money, which I can put towards the house versus paying rent. This video is going to be a hodgepodge of stuff. So this room is going to be my bedroom. So what I need to do is seal it up completely so it's closed off from the rest of the house, so I don't have any dust coming in here. I'm going to put my mattress in here, and this will be a dust-free zone. Of course I'm going to get some dust, but that's not a major problem. So things I need to do is finish the electrical, add in blocking, finish the framing, make sure all the windows are the same size, and then I'm going to insulate and then apply a vapor barrier, and then I'll move the mattress in and I will seal off that section. So I was sitting down here last night and I realized that I put these light switches kind of in a bad spot. My mattress is basically going to go from here to there, so that outlet will basically be on top of the bed. So if you were to sit up in bed, your back could be leaning against it and there's going to be things plugged in. So what I'm going to do is move this to the other side of this block, and I'm going to do the same with this one here. First thing I gotta do is take it off. Oh, and the power, I cut the power off. Safety sallies. So I've been using these bins to store different things in. I have one bin that's all electrical stuff, and I have one bin that's all plumbing stuff. Obviously other stuff kind of goes into other buckets and stuff like that, but this has got all my wire nuts, little bits of wire, extensions for the drill bits, wire cutters, needle nose pliers, screws, zip ties, extra outlets. This way, when I need to do some electrical, I just grab this bucket and I have everything I need to do it. Now I'm most likely going to be doing 3/4 inch trim down here. So I'm going to hold this box 3/4 of an inch out. Since I'm moving it, this wire is going to have to be replaced because it's not long enough to make the run. I'm going to push all the wires tight to the outside of the stud. So when I go to insulate this, ow, that hurt. So when I go to insulate this, they won't be in the way. So I've got my feed wire, and then after it goes through, after I have my feed wire, I want the wire to continue going. So I have the out wire, the wire where it's going to head out. So I'm going to take my wire strippers, and there's numbers on the wire strippers, 10, 12, 14. This is 12-2 wire, so that this is a 12 gauge wire. So I put it on my 12 mark, and I crimp down so I got about a 1/2 inch right there, and just pop that off right there, and I do that to every single wire. So these quick connect wire nuts, they come in different sizes. You can get it with 2 holes, 3 holes, and 4. I'm going to do 4 here, and I'm going to do 2 outlets on this side. So I want all the white wires to go into one of them, I want all the black wires to go in the other, and all the grounds to go into another. So I can just connect them. It doesn't matter which hole is which. So when you push this in, you want to make sure you want to look at the wire, make sure it's sitting in all the way, push it down in, and then if you pull, shouldn't come out. There's teeth that lock onto it. So I've got this scrap wire. I take out all 3 wires from the center, grab me some wire. Now these short wires are going to be what goes to my outlet boxes. So I can stick these into these holes. So now I've got 2 hot wires, 2 cold, and then my 2 grounds. So I've got 2 outlets. Now those outlets require the copper wire to have a curve in it. So if I take a needle nose pair of pliers and put a curve in it. Now if you look at the outlet, you got gold color or brass color looking screws, and then silver. Black's going to go here, white's going to go here. Take one of the black wires. Now there's 2 screws on this. I want to tighten down the other one too so it's not rattling inside the wall. Then I'll stick the white wire in. Now once everything's tightened down, you need to cram all this back into this box. The only thing you want to be sure that doesn't happen is the copper wire doesn't come in contact with either of those screws. And also you can see the orientation. Don't install those upside down. That drives me nuts. I'm going to change this one out and one on the other side for the USB things. Those USB things cost a lot of money though, so not yet. So the wiring down here is pretty much done. I still got to do some I still need to connect all these wires into outlets, but that's done. The wires are where they gotta go. I'm not running any other wires or plumbing down here. So now I can do framing. Alright, so I went back and I added these blocks. So I have something to nail trim to. This window here, I framed it bigger than it needs to be because I needed this king stud to run from the bottom plate to the top plate to support the header that's on the wheel well as well as this header. I could have spaced it out, but the way I framed it was the strongest way to frame it. So what I need to do is shrink this window down to equal the same size as the other window. So I'm going to measure. I measured that window and it was 3 foot 3/4. I'm hopefully going to be making all my windows from scratch, so these aren't standard windows by any means. So all the framing's done, all the electrical's done, everything in here is done. I still got a little bit of wiring to do, but everything that needs to get done inside of the walls has been done. So I'm going to start insulating now. I'd really like to use spray foam insulation on the tiny house, but it's just, one, it's too expensive. Two, I would need it to be sprayed in multiple different sections. So I'd need to do the bedroom now and then come back and do the other rooms. And no contractor is going to give me a decent price if they have to come back and do freaking 100 square feet. So in the bedroom at least, I'm going to do this insulation. This is Roxol insulation. It's stone wool and slag. Basically, they take stone, they make it molten, they spin it against a disc and it gets misted out, creating this fiber. And then they use slag, which is a byproduct from the steel industry. They take it and they add glue and they add an oil to it to make it water resistant or water repellent. It's fireproof. It's the same insulation that I used on the floor of the trailer. To me, it's a little bit better than fiberglass insulation. It's still, for some reason, it itches me like you wouldn't believe. Other people, it doesn't bother at all. To me, I hate it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go measure. I'm going to cut all the pieces where the studs are 16 inches on center. All these little blocks here and these specialty pieces, I'm going to go back and cut after and figure out. Anywhere I have a pipe right here, I'm just going to go get 4 cans of spray foam, and where it's really complicated and I would never be able to get this stuff in there and get it nice and tight, I'm just going to spray foam it. I'm cutting the pieces just a little bit bigger than the actual opening so it fits in there tight. You know, this is 7 inches. I might go 7 and 3/16, but obviously I'm not getting that exact, but close enough. Now once I have all these 16-inch pieces filled in, I'm going to go back and fill in what I can. Now I want these to run up as high as I can, so I'm going to go 8 inches and I'm going to rip it 9. I dated a girl once, and yeah, once, learned my lesson, and she was allergic to lumber. Needless to say, it didn't work out. We went out to dinner one night and then I had to go to the hardware store to get some stuff. And before we went in, she had to take some medicine so that she wouldn't have an allergic reaction. I think that was our last date. She told me it wasn't her, it was me. Now the plastic from where the shower is, I'm going to take it and I'm going to stick it here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this joint so I have a complete vapor barrier, or sealed up better than none. Now there's still an air gap right here. So what I'm going to do is take spray foam, stick the gun up here and just spray foam it in there, and then I'll seal this down. You know, if you got scrap pieces and you need to fit it in here, you can just hold it up against it and just by eye get a mark. I thought I was filming, but I wasn't. That pisses me off. So I got some great stuff spray foam. Now this stuff expands like you wouldn't believe. The other day I filled the crack upstairs and I put so much in, and you would have been amazed how much came out of that crack. So I'm just going to go real light. So I put it in real thin right there. I'll let it harden and I'll apply another coat. I'll probably have to do 2 or 3 of them. You know, but like cracks like this is perfect for That's a perfect example of how much that stuff expanded. So after you've given this stuff some time to dry, you can just take a bread knife. You're just going to cut it flush with the studs. That's all waste. So now I can go and put a vapor barrier on here, and I'm going to seal it all the way up around here. So I got my roll of plastic. It's 10 feet wide by 25 feet long. So if I just cut a 4-foot piece, it'll do this wall and some of that wall. Now I cut it a little bit longer so I can stick it up and notch it around everywhere. Now there's probably a correct way to install this, but I've never done vapor barrier. The only reason I'm doing it is because I see everybody else doing it, like everything else every tiny house builder does. They see somebody doing it, they're like, oh, that must be right. I'm going to do that. But I did some research. You do need vapor barrier. I believe you're supposed to apply a glue, and then you tape all your joints, and you don't want any air getting through. My thing is you're going to riddle this thing with holes when you do your siding on the inside here, whatever it is. So if you use staples to hold this in, I don't see why that's a problem. I guess you could tape over each staple you do, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to put it in. So everywhere I have a joist, I'm going to notch the plastic around it. I'm just going to bring this point up to it, stick my knife in, follow the joist out. A lot of this is going to end up getting taped after, maybe, if I'm feeling froggy. So when you put it up there, I want to go behind the, or up above, so it's getting on the next floor. Now right here, I can't really pull the plastic tight, so if I pull it tight and then put the staple on it, I can take my hammer, just give it a light tap, and then staple it in. Now right around the window, if I push on this, it's going to pull the plastic tight all the way around it, since I've gone and nailed my perimeter up. So I can just push this. So my vapor barrier is done, and I'm ready to move my mattress in. I'm going to still make a little dust down here. I need to install an air conditioner. I might not even use it, but I'd rather have it in there than not. So I'm going to make the cut for the air conditioner unit. All I'm doing is going at that point, I'm taking my knife and cutting up on a 45-degree angle. Now I don't want this plastic to hang out onto the outside, so I'm only going to come up about 2 inches, and I'll cut it all the way around. One day I'm going to close this in and I'm going to do a split mini duct, so that piece of plywood will fit right back in there. So I'm going to save that. Again, temporary. This whole thing is temporary. So I got the air conditioner installed. I put 1 screw in it so it won't fall out. 1 screw is going to hold it in. Shut up, negative Nancy's. I cleaned this up completely so there's no sawdust. I'm ready to slide my mattress in now. I just have to go upstairs, clean up everywhere up there so there's no dust and stuff. I can slide the mattress in, then I can build that wall. I know you're probably thinking, how am I going to get the mattress out of here? When I go to do the hardwood flooring and the walls, I'm going to take this mattress and take a Sawzall and cut it in half and slide it out the window, and I'll do the work down here, hardwood flooring and the siding, and then I'll take the new memory foam mattress that I plan on buying and slide it down through the stairwell and put it in place. So I close up this window because I'm going to be traveling in 2 days and I don't want to have any windows, so I just put that plywood back in. I still got to nail it in a couple spots, and then I'll install those temporary storm windows so then when I'm at work, Peanut doesn't die of heat in here because I'm not running the AC when I'm not here. This is what $10,000 gets you. I didn't save 1 penny. I've been doing it paycheck to paycheck. $400 here, $400 there. Peanut butter and jelly all the time. I mean, I like spaghetti. Spaghetti's like $1. I don't want to mic up, but I mean, talk about precision. I mean, come on. Yeah. That was a pain to put down here. It didn't fit, so I needed to go sumo wrestler on it to get it down that hole. Woo!